Hi folks, today we're going to draw this map. I'm just going to use one pen. It's a Lamy Safari fountain pen with the standard black ink cartridges that you can get with it. The paper's something new for me. It's Khadi Paper's 320 GSM handmade paper. And each sheet is pretty awesome and unique, but you don't need this. Any sheet of plain paper and any pen is good enough to start. Watch this video and have a go. Draw on the inside of a cereal box or something if you've got to. So this is Chipshopland. I won't pretend to have created it as an original concept. It's influenced / copied from Sensible Soccer, which is the greatest football game of all time. From the mid-90s, I played it loads as a kid and loved the custom teams. Anyone who gets the reference, let's have a comment just to say which your favorite custom team was. Anyway, every location is something from the Chippy, so if you're not already, I hope you're hungry by the end. We'll start with Coastlines. We're going to do it all freehand, no sketching with pencil. I'm just going straight in with ink. Next up, I'm going to add the islands, trying to follow the peninsulas of the main landmass, trying to make them like extensions of the land that we've got, plus a few additional kind of island ranges. And then we'll put in a few lakes, just like the biggest ones. I'm not worried about little lakes and ponds and that, just the really big lakes in the landmass. Now we're going to add our first castle and random weird feature. We've got a little castle and these sausage things coming out of the ground. So we've got chips and saveloy. Next up, pickled egg and pickled onion. If you've never had a pickled egg, get out there and treat yourself. Then it's the stone circle of chicken nuggets and another keep, this time called soft drink, which is pretty unimaginative. So this video is sponsored by me because no one else is going to sponsor it. So you can check out my Patreon page where you can make a small pledge, get access to loads of old maps of mine, but also you can see the full length video of this. And if you're already watching the full length video of this, well, then I guess you're a patron. So thank you very much. Let's have a few condiments. I have curry sauce castle and the ketchup village, plus mushy peas will be another castle in a second. So we'll name this lake Gravy Lake. And then next up we've got the village of Cod, because what's a trip to the Chippy without a bit of cod? And the next village is Haddock. And we'll make a mountain range here, we'll call it Place Mountains. And then the fish cake tower, which is sort of a bit of a weird shaped thing, doesn't really look like a fish cake. And then, I don't really know what I was doing with this. We'll call it pie. Looks a bit like Cyril Sneer's nose. There's another old school reference for you if you get that. Nothing to do with the fish and chip shop. And then we'll add Chip Butty Castle, which is definitely my favourite fish and chip thing. We'll call this ocean Pineapple Fritter Ocean. And then this one, for the Americans, Faggots and Gravy Ocean. Now, if you're all up in arms about faggots, maybe Google it, but maybe Google something like English faggots. I can't think of a good way that you can actually Google this. Faggots food or something like that. Maybe just don't do it at work if you're American. But if you're British, you'll know it's totally legit. Nice bit of food that probably people don't really eat anymore. Next up, we're going to go round all the coastline and just give everything a little sort of shadow to the south. That's just to sort of make it pop on the map a little bit more. Don't forget to do the islands and lakes and things like that as well. Alright, next up we'll draw these mountains, the place mountains. Lots of nice little shapes, and then we'll just start with a really easy shading, which is just like a little sort of run of the pen, especially on the hills. Like, it really couldn't be easier. And then on the mountains you just do a few more. Everywhere you've got like a, I don't really know how to describe it, like a little bit of shape to the western side. If you want to see another video on mountains, I'll link one up in the thing at the moment. And then once we've done that, we'll add a little bit of sort of additional decoration, just little bits, little like dashes running off the bottoms of the mountains out to sort of flatten them out into the landscape, and then a few little dots and dashes just to dirty them up a bit. A few more hills dotted around, and then we'll make a marsh. We'll call it the Vinegar Marsh, because obviously what's chips without salt and vinegar, even though I don't think we're going to put salt anywhere in this map, but anyway, it doesn't matter. I reckon I messed up this marsh a little bit. I drew everything a bit big. The pen was sort of splodging about a bit. But we do some sort of reeds, and then we'll add little like reed heads to them, and then add a few little dashed lines and make that a marsh. Now we'll put in roads, just lots of nice dotted lines. I think dotted lines look alien enough to any map that you can be pretty sure that they're roads. And then we'll add a few rivers and things. And now to add like the effect of sea, we're going to do this sort of broken dotted line all the way around the coastline, just keeping it nice and loose. And where there are inlets, we're going to kind of miss them out, right? So we're going to keep this as almost like where the tide would, where the waves would be. And then those inlet bits, they'd be more protected, so we wouldn't necessarily have waves where they are. So all the way around, I'm doing it in a slightly odd order because I don't want to put my hand in it and smudge it. Don't forget to go around your islands as well. And then, this one's a slightly tricky technique. I've been doing it a little while, so I've kind of practiced. But we're going to draw these broken lines going horizontally off each of the lines we'd just drawn. I find I can do it quite well going from left to right. When I come from going from right to left, it's really difficult. But we'll do it all the way around, and again I'll do it in slightly odd ordering because I really don't want to put my hand in it. And I forget the islands in the top right when I do this, so I'll come back to that in a minute when I realise. But next up we'll add a few more hills. Just try and add a bit more character to the map. And then we'll add a few trees. I like these little pine trees. They're kind of my favourite thing to draw. And then we'll make this little plains area. I don't think this really worked as sort of a concept for this map, but I think on the final thing it looks broadly okay. I probably should have named it, and I didn't give it a name, so it's kind of not obvious what it is. Anyway, we'll finish off with a few more little bits and pieces, a few more hills, which I'll try and remember to shade all of them, and then a few little tufts of grass and things. And then remember to shade the last bit of the islands. And let's add a scale. This sort of distance, I want this map to be, I don't know, a week, 10 days walk across. So, you know, the distance between towns often is about a day's walk, maybe just over. And that's it, the finished item. If you enjoyed it, there's another video linked that I think you might like, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.